ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। ॐ श्री हयग्रीवाय नमः। ॐ श्री वल्लभा समेत श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः. So we are now entering a new topic. Samvidah Atmatva-upapattih. Samvid and Atma are one and the same. This is what we would like to reveal, or this is what Shruti is revealing. Now this, whatever is revealed by the Shruti, is also established by an Anumana, let us say. It is like a Shruti Sammata Tarka, a logic which is in keeping with what is revealed by the Shruti. So what is the Anumana here? So that is what is presented here. Atha ajadatvat samviddeva atma atma iti idam anumanam kim samichinam uta asamichinam iti vicharyate. So what are we analyzing here? The vichara is that ajadatvat samvideva atma. So ajadatvam is the hetu here. Okay. Samvid is the paksha and atma is the sadhya. So samvid is atma. That's what we want to establish. Okay. So samvid and atma are one because samvid also is ajada, atma also is ajada, and there is nothing else which is ajada, correct? The only chaitanyam which is there is atma alone, and therefore and atma and chaitanya and samvid are one and the same, and therefore atma is chaitanya. So ajadatvam is used as the hetu for that. Ajadatvat samvideva atma. And any normally in an anumana drishtanta also is given. Here we may have to give Vyatireka Drishtanta only, I think, if at all we give, correct? So you have to say Ghatavat Vyatirekena, like Ghata, which is Jada, correct? Everything which is Yushmat Pratyaya is all Jada. The Asmat alone is Chaitanya, which is Atma, correct? So that's what Bhashyakar also, that's how he starts the Brahma Sutra Bhashya also. So Ajadatvam itself, now we are using as a hetu to establish that Samvid is Atma. This is the Anumana. And whether this is proper or not, that is being analyzed here. In fact, Asamichinam eva iti Ramanujaha. Ramanuja says that this is not proper. this Anumana is having dosha defects, and he is listing different doshas. In fact, one of the things we study Tarka for is that to look at what kind of fallacies can be there in your reasoning, correct? It is called Hetva-bhasa. Okay, Hetva-bhasa section is one section we study properly so that we don't want to do reasoning which is having fallacies, correct? To avoid fallacies in our reasoning, what kind of fallacies are all there, one has to be aware of. That section in the Nyaya Shastra is called Hetva-bhasa. You can also go and see that. So here he is giving different defects, in fact. So Ramanujaha, what does he say? Tathahi ajadatvam kim abhipretam. So first is, what is this ajadatvam? How do we define what is ajada? Whichever way we define, there is some defect. That is what his contention is. First he is saying what? Swasatta prayukta prakashatvam iti chet. So if we define ajadatvam as something which is shining, correct, due to its own existence. Swasatta prayukta prakashatvam. The very fact that it exists it also shines due to its own existence. Okay, means that is ajada. If you define, then there is a problem, he is saying. Okay, iti chet what? Deepadishu anaikantyam. So anaikantyam itself is a hetu abhasa. It is a defect. It is also called vyabhichara. Okay, if you see, vyabhichara or anekantya means what? The hetu, normally the hetu has to only point to the sadhya, correct? But if it is overshooting and pointing to, and it can also actually point to something else other than the sadhya, then we call anekantya, correct? So let us say, um, um, let us say something like, since it is four-legged, this animal is cow. We cannot give a inference like that, correct? Because the four-legged quality also can mean a horse or some other animal. Okay. So this animal is cow because it is having four legs. I cannot give an inference like this. That will have anekantya because there is ativyapti of the hetu, you can say, correct? In fact, this hetu, anekantyam also, there are different types, they say. One is called sadharana, asadharana and all that. So whatever we are saying, the ativyapti variety is called sadharana, vyabhichara or anekantya. Asadharana means it is too narrow. Okay. You give a hetu which does not always even point to the sadhya itself, nor any other sadhya. It is too narrow. That is called asadharana, anekanthyam. Anyway, here the first problem is pointing it what? If you give the definition of ajadatvam as swasatta prayukta prakashatvam, then even Deepa is making itself known, correct, by its own, or by the very fact that it exists, it also makes itself known by its existence. Therefore, this definition will overflow into Deepa. And Deepa also will become Ajada, but Deepa is not Atma. So your inference will go for a toss. That is one defect. Then, okay, if we say no, we are now saying, let us say, samvidah atirikta prakasha dharma anapyubagame. Now, if you say Deepa and all, we don't accept as real prakasha. What we call as prakasha is only there in samvid. Okay. Then your hetu will not be there in the paksha itself, let us say, correct? That is called asiddhihi. So this hetu asiddhi also, there are different types of asiddhis are there. One is called swarupa asiddhi. Okay, means this hetu is not there because in fact it is not there in the paksha itself. Okay, then it is called this swarupa asiddhi. And there is ashraya asiddhi, vyapyatva asiddhi and all that. Like this, different types of asiddha or asiddhi is there. So here, if you say that there is no real relation between the hetu and the sadhya. So the one of the examples they give is what? Shabdaha nityam drishtatvat ghatavat. Like that, if you say, you are saying shabda, you want the sadhya is nityatva, correct? Shabda is the paksha, but then you are giving a hetu of drishtatvat. Drittatvam is not there in the Shabda, correct? In the Paksha itself. Similarly, what he is saying is Ajadatvam is not there. Paksha is samvid. For them, samvid is prakashavan. Okay, because these people are always talking about Visheshana and Visheshya, correct? So samvid has a dharma called prakashatvam. So swasatta prayukta prakashatvam, if you say that prakashatvam is not samvid. Okay, prakashatvam is only a dharma. Samvit is the dharmi. Samvit is prakashavan, it will become. Okay, and prakasha is only a dharma, correct? So if you say this prakashatvam is there only in samvit also, then your argument falls, because then the hetu is not there in the paksha. That is the asiddhi, the swarupa asiddhi we are talking about. Or it is also, we can say it is a virodha, means it is all contradictory because of this reason itself. Okay, because if you say prakashatvam, it may not even, it will not point to the sadhya also, because atma itself is not prakasha also. Even in the sadhya also, this hetu is not pointing to the sadhya, it is pointing to something else. So one is hetu is not being there in the paksha, that is called asiddhi. Virodha means the hetu in fact is pointing to something other than whatever you want to establish, correct? Here we want to establish samvit as atma. Atma is the sadhya, but hetu is not pointing to the sadhya itself. Okay, that is also a problem. That is a virodha, because again atma also is prakashavan only, you can say. Prakasha itself is only a dharma, and atma doesn't have the dharma. Or even if you say atma is the dharma of prakasha, atma is not prakasha by itself. So there virodha also will come. Okay, so these kinds of things one has to be aware of, correct? So the virodha also is a problem, because for example this virodha, one of the to point out the virodha as a hetu abhasa, what we say is again shabdaha nityam, let us say, or shabdaha nityaha. Why? Because srashtritvat, let us say, because it is produced. Now what you are trying to establish is that nityaha is the sadhya, but the hetu doesn't point to the sadhya itself, correct? Because anything which is produced cannot be nitya. That is the virodha hetu. So like that here, this prakasha itself is not atma. Therefore, virodha also will come. So there is, so till now what we saw, anekantyam or vyabhichara, then asiddhihi, then virodha. These three are, all these three problems are coming if we define ajadatvam as swasatta prayukta prakashatvam. So now let us say, because all these problems are coming, we give up that definition and we now give a new definition. What is the other definition which Ramanuja is talking about here? He is saying avyabhicharita prakasha sattakatvam api sukhadishu vibhicharat nirastam. Okay, let us say now we define this ajadatvam as avyabhicharita prakasha sattakatvam. Means what? In the prakasha and satta means existence and self, whatever the revelation or shining, are there always together. Okay, invariably they are together wherever it is. That is ajada. Means even this will be overflowing, Again, there is Vyabhichara or Anekantya, because Sukha, Sukha, Dukha, etc. They, whenever they are there, they are revealing themselves also. Okay. Because this we say, or whatever is there, all these emotions, etc. Correct? And even the Pratibhasika, Ajnata Satta is not there for them. Whenever they are known, they are existing also. So existence and revelation go together for all these things like Sukha, Dukkha, and even things like Pratibhasika things, like rope snake, etc. So Ajnata Satta is not there for them. Therefore, they reveal themselves whenever they are existing. So if you say Avyabhicharita Prakasha Sattakatvam, that is Prakasha and Satta are always together, invariable. That definition also will go into, it will overflow into Sukha, etc. So because of that, it is rejected, because it will again have the Vyabhichara dosha or Anekantya dosha. Okay, then you give up that, you give another definition of Ajadatvam. What is that? Swasmai Prakashamanatvam api samvidhi, samvidhi asiddham. Again, if you say samvid itself, samvid is one which reveals for its own sake. Swasmai Prakashamanatvam. Then also that Swasmai Prakashamanatvam is not there in the Paksha itself. Swarupa Siddhi will come here also. Because Samvit does, according to them, what? Consciousness does not reveal things for its own sake, but it is revealing it for the sake of Atma, who is the knower. Consciousness is only Jnanam, correct? Jnanam reveals things not for its own sake. It is only revealing things for the sake of Atma. Therefore, Swasmai Prakashamanatvam is not at all there in Samvit itself. So it is the whatever Hetu you are giving, the Swasmai Prakashamanatvam is not found in the Paksha itself. Okay, if you say Ajadatvam is Swasmai Prakashamanatvam, therefore again Asiddhi problem will come. Why? Because he is explaining that Anyasmai Ahamarthaya eva samvidah bhasamanatvat iti. Because Samvid is only revealing things for the sake of Aham, Atma, which is other than the Samvid, according to them. Okay. Therefore, whichever way you define, three definitions you have given, Swasatta Prayukta Prakashatvam, there you are having problems like Anekantyam, Asiddhihi, Virodaha. Or Avyabhicharita Prakasha Sattakatvam, if you say, then also Anekantyam or Vibhichara is there towards Sukha, etc. Or if you say Swasmai Prakashamanatvam, again this, if you say Ajadatvam is Swasmai Prakashamanatvam, it is not at all there in the Samvit itself, which is the Paksha. Therefore, you will have Swarupa Siddhi like this, whichever way you define Ajadatvam, your Anumana does not hold good. Like this, Ramanuja has said that this Anumana is not proper, it is defective. Means if it is said like this, what? Na etad ayuktam, or na etad yuktam, we say. Okay. So we say no, whatever you say is not correct, because this is proper, it is tenable. In fact, we will show that each of these definitions hold good. How? Let us see. First we are saying Ajadatvam Swasatta Prayukta Prakashatvam eva natu Deepadishu Anekantyam. So what we are saying, if when we say Ajadatvam is Swasatta Prayukta Prakashatvam, you say that it is overflowing into Deepadi. But it does not. Why? Because Deepadi does not have Swasatta Prayukta Prakashatva. That is what we are saying. So Deepadayaha hi, Deepadayaha api hi Ghatadivat Chakshur Avabhasya eva iti. Because Deepadi also depend on your eyes for it to be known. It is not Swasatta Prayukta Prakashatva is not there. Only with reference to Ghata, etc., Deepa can be said to have like whatever we say, Swaprakashatvam and all we call, correct? But even if you close your eyes, then Deepa and Gata are one like similar. Both of them are not known. Therefore, Deepa etc. also depend on Chakshus. They are not exactly Swasatta Prayukta Prakashatvam is not there for them. Therefore, whatever you said that there is Anekantya or Vibhichara, this is not correct. So that's what he is explaining. Nahi chakshushi nimilite kataha iva deepopi sphuret. So if you close your eyes, like the gata, deepa also is not cognized, na spuret. Okay. But what prakashastu samvidaha na dharma bhutaha kintu swarupa bhutaha iti na asidhyadikam api. Okay, further what this prakasha, he said, we samvid atirikta prakasha dharma anabhyupagamena asiddhihi, correct? Because he says that this other than samvid, no other thing can have prakasha as a dharma. Also, if we say there is asiddhi, because samvid is prakasha dharma van, that is what their contention. No, that we don't accept. Why? We are saying prakashastu samvidaha na dharma bhutaha. We are saying prakasha is not a dharma of samvid. Kintu swarupa bhutaha. It is its very swarupa. So, samvid is not dharmi and prakasha is not dharma for us. Prakasha is the very swarupa of samvid. Therefore, you cannot say asiddhi or it is virodha. Means virodha will come because Atma also is only a dharmi and prakasha is a dharma. But for Atma also, prakasha or jnana, all these things are only swarupa. So, since we don't consider it as a dharma and we take it as its very nature, therefore, there is no asiddhi or viruddha also. Okay. So, asiddhyadikam api na, because we are taking it as swarupa bhuta and not dharma bhuta. Okay. Then what further? Yadva ghatasya iva samvidaha api prakashaha nama vyavahara vishayi bhavanam tadhi yavat vyavaharam asti iti na doshaha. Okay. So, if you say like ghata, this samvid also, if you say it is prakashaha, correct? Prakashaha nama vyavahara vishayi bhavanam. See, what is the meaning of being or shining or having light? Means it is becoming a vishaya in vyavahara. Correct? That I know this. It has to become known. Becoming known means it is having light. If you say like that, okay, yadva ghatasya eva samvidaha api prakashaha nama vyavahara vishayi bhavanam. So what prakasha means what? If you say it is vyavahara vishayi bhavanam is prakasha, then what? Tadhi yavat vyavaharam asti iti na doshaha. So only it is there till the time vyavahara is there. Okay. And when the vyavahara is not there, it is not there, it will become prakasha. Then this prakasha cannot be called as even dharma. Okay. Or surupa and all if you say. So what do we say? Ajadatvam avyabhicharita prakasha sattakatvam iti ayuktau api na doshaha. So this ajadatvam avyabhicharita prakasha sattakatvam is what you said is there in sukha etc. Correct? But this prakasha itself is what only it is there during vyavahara. If you say Then when the Vyavahara is not there, this Prakasha is not there. Satta also is not there. Because Sukhadi, etc., when you are knowing it only, it is there. When you don't know it, it is not there, we are saying. So Prakasha and Satta, both are there for them only when they are known. Now, but before it is known, it is not there. Satta and Prakasha both. After it is known, also both are not there. Therefore, how you can say it is having Avyabhicharita Prakasha Sattakatvam? Because before that cognition, both Satta and Prakasha are not there. After the cognition ends also, both Satta and Prakasha are not there. Therefore, Vibhichara is there. So there is no, the second definition also is not a problem. We can say Samvid has Avyabhicharita Prakasha Sattakatvam because in the case, whatever you said, Sukha, etc., in that case, both Satta and Prakasha are, they are Vibhicharati, correct? That's why we are saying Naisha Doshaha iti Ubhayam na Vyabhicharati tad Avyabhicarita Sattakam Sukha Dehetu tad Ubhayam Vyabhicharati Janmanaha Prak Pradvamsat Paschatcha Sukha Dehe tad Ubhaya Bhavat. So that's what. So this Prakasha and Satta, both of them for the Sukha, etc., they are not there before the cognition of them and after the cognition of them has gone away. Therefore, they are Vibhicharati. You cannot call it Avyabhicharita, Satta and Prakasha. That is there only for Samvid. Okay. Therefore, that definition also holds good. Whatever you said, there is Vibhichara or Anaikantya doesn't hold good. Okay. So, nahi Sukha Sadbhava Dashayam Sukha Prakashaha Asti Ityeva iti etavan matrena Sukham Avyabhicarita Prakasha Sattakam Bhavati यदि तु यस्य सत्ता प्रकाशम न व्यभिचरति तद अव्यभिचरित प्रकाश सत्ताकम सुखादिकं च तादृगेव इति सुखादौ व्यभिचारः इति उच्यते तदपि न युक्तम् प्रकाश शब्देन स्वरूपभूत प्रकाशस्य विवक्षितत्वात्. Okay, see here we said that it is not there before that cognition and after the cognition is gone, correct? So here what he is saying, the Purvapakshi is saying Sukha Sadbhava Dashayam Sukha Prakashaha Asti etavan matreena Sukham Avyabhicarita Prakasha Sattakam Bhavati. So he is saying, yeah, we also agree only when the Sukha is being known, correct? So Sukha Sadbhava Dashayam, when the Sukha is there, Sukha's Prakasha is there. In this way only we say it is Avyabhicharita, but Ghata, etc., even when it is there, it doesn't shine by itself. But Sukha, etc., whenever it is there, it is always known. But Ghata, even if it is there, it is not known, correct? So in that way, Sukha is having Prakasha whenever it is existing. Therefore, it is having Avyabhicharita, Prakasha and Sattaka. That's how we are saying it. Okay. So in this manner only, Yetavan Matrena Sukham Avyabhicharita Prakasha Sattakam Bhavati. Therefore, what Yeditu Yasya Satta Prakasham na Vyabhichariti Tad Avyabhicharita Prakasha Sattakam Sukadikam cha Tadrikeva iti Sukhadau Vibhicharaha iti Uchyate. So this is what he is saying. Okay. So if he says that I am only saying whenever this is there, that is also there. That is the invariability I am talking about. Not when something is not there, the other thing also is not there. Okay, that is fine for me. So if you are saying like that, so yadi tu yasya satta prakasham na vyabhicharati tad avyabhicharita prakasha sattakam sukadikam cha tadrigeva iti. So in this kind of definition, where only one is there, the other is there, means they are invariably there. That's all I am saying. That is there for sukha, etc. Okay. Even in this manner, if you say, correct, therefore it is overflowing into sukha, etc. Tadapi na yuktam. Even if you give the definition like this, okay, it is not proper. Why? Prakasha sabdena swarupa bhuta prakashasya vivakshitatva, means whatever this prakasha is there for sukha, etc. You are saying, correct? According to you, it is dharma bhuta only. Prakasha dharma is there, you are saying, for sukha, etc. In fact, we don't accept that. There is no dharma bhuta prakasha at all for us. This prakasha, it cannot have any prakasha really. The prakasha is of the jnanam which is manifest in the sukha vritti, correct? Sukha is nothing but a manovritti. It is also jada. So we don't accept that sukha, etc. as prakasha itself. You understand? Our argument now is, if you say whenever the sukha is there, prakasha also is there. That's what I say, avyabhicharita. Even taking the definition like that, sukha, etc. does not have any prakasha. Why? Our argument now is sukha cannot have prakasha itself. Okay. The prakasha is really the swarupa of the jnanam. And whatever jnanam which is manifest in the manovritti only makes it known. Therefore, the prakasha doesn't belong to the sukha, etc. It is jnana swarupa prakasha only. So, by the word prakasha, we are talking about the swarupa bhuta prakasha of jnana, and not, it cannot be there in sukha, etc. Sukha also being manovritti is only jada, and our swarupa bhuta prakasha does not, it is not there. It does not exist in the sukha, etc. Therefore, also you cannot give this as a defect. Okay, swarupa bhuta prakashasya vivakshitatvat. So now both two definitions we have taken care of. Okay. Now third is what? Ajadatvam swasmai bhasamanatvam ityapi yuktameva. If we say ajadatvam is swasmai bhasamanatvam, that also is proper, we are saying. Why? Ahamartasya atmanaha samvidrupattvena samvidanyatva bhavatiti. Now you said swasmai bhasamanatvam is not there for jnanam or samvid because it is always revealing things to Atma, which is the Jnata, which is Ahamartha, correct? What we are saying is Ahamartha only Atma for us. And that Atma itself is Samvid Rupa for us. And there is nothing other than Samvid. Therefore, Samvid is revealing things for itself, we can say, because Samvid itself is the Atma for us. And Atma only is appearing as Jnata due to Upadhi. Therefore, even that definition also will hold good. You cannot say that it does not hold good. There is no asiddhi, swarupa asiddhi and all is not there. Therefore, for them, Atma is separate, Jnanam is separate. So, Jnana is revealing things for the sake of Atma. But for us, Atma and Jnanam are one and the same. Therefore, the Hetu is there in the Paksha and in the Sadhya, both. Therefore, there is no issue for us. So, like this, all three, whatever defects they showed in all three definitions, we have shown that those defects are all not really there. Therefore, this Anumana is Samichinam. It is proper. Now, further what we are saying, Vastutastu, Ajadatvam nama swaprakashatvam paraprakashyattvasya eva jadatva rupatva. So what we are saying is, in reality, what ajadatvam nama swaprakashatvam means, ajadatvam is really swaprakashatvam only. Okay, because whatever is revealed by something else is always jada. Paraprakashyattvasya eva jadatva rupatva. So the jadatva, whatever is in the form of a jada or insentient, is always revealed by the sentient, correct, which is other than itself. Therefore, ajadatvam is really swaprakashatvam, and therefore swasmai bhasamanatvam and all we can say. And swaprakashatva, how did we define? Swaprakashatvam cha ananya avabhasyatva, ananya avabhasyatvam, anya avabhasakatvam cha iti uktam prak. So before only we have already defined swaprakashatvam as that which is not lighted up by anything else or cognized by anything else, and that which cognizes everything else. In fact, anya avabhasakatvam is there, which reveals everything else. That alone is swaprakasha. It was already said. Therefore, there is no issue. Okay, so now this Anumana part is over. Now we are also taking up something which is said by Sudarshana. Yad uktam atra shruta prakashikayam. Okay, with reference to this, in Shruta Prakashika, something is said. What is that? Samvidah swayam prakashatvam nama kim jnana karmatam antarena vyavaharanu gunatvam kimva jnanantara nirapeksha prakashatvam adye jnatari ativyaptihi dvitiyam asiddham samvidah swarupabhuta jnana adhinatvat. Okay, now Sutta Prakashikakara is again giving some objections to say that Samvid is Swaprakasha. Okay, this Samvid is Swaprakasha, how do you say? So two ways he is talking about it. One is Jnana Karmatam Antarena Vyavahara Anugunatvam, Anugunyatvam we have to say actually, or Anugunatvam, Vyavahara Anugunatvam. So they talk about Vyavahara Anugunya and all that. Okay, that which facilitates the Vyavahara means here the knowing. So that which facilitates knowing without being the object of knowledge. Okay, jnana karmatam antarena vyavahara anugunatvam means what? That which is having the quality of facilitating the jnana vyavahara, the knowing itself, without being the object of knowledge. If you define like that, swaprakashatvam, then what is the problem? He is saying jnatari ativyaptihi. This definition will overflow into the knower, not only the knowledge. Okay, samvid is knowledge for them, jnata is knower. Then whatever is known is jneyam. So three things are there: jnata, jneyam, jnanam. Now swaprakashatvam, if you define as something which facilitates the process or the vyavahara of knowing without being the object of knowledge, it can be both jnanam and jnata, correct? That means this definition overflows into jnata, jnatari ativyaptihi, that is gone. Or now otherwise if you say what? Jnanantara nirapeksha prakashatvam means what? That which shines without depending on another jnana. Okay, any other knowledge or any other sentient being need not know this. It doesn't depend on any other jnana or knowledge to be known. Okay, jnanantara nirapeksha prakashatvam. It has prakasha by itself. It doesn't depend on anything else for its prakashatvam, for it shining. Means dvitiyam asiddham is saying. In dvitiya, this kind of prakashatvam cannot be there in samvid. Why? Because samvid depends on some other jnanam, he says. Jnanantara nirapekshatvam is not there in samvid. Why? He is saying samvidaha swarupa bhuta jnana adhinatva. So the Vishishtadvaitins talk about a Dharmi Bhuta Jnanam, which is Swarupa Jnanam for them. Okay, Swarupa Bhuta Jnana is the Dharmi Bhuta Jnana, which is Atma, which is the Jnata also. And Samvid is only a Dharma. That means for the Samvid to be known, the Jnata has to be there. So Samvid depends on the Jnata to be known. Okay. Therefore, it doesn't have Jnanantara Nirapekshatvam is there, you cannot say. It has Apeksha. It depends on this Dharmi Bhuta Jnanam. Therefore, what he is saying, Ahamarthasya eva swayam prakashatvam natu samvidah iti. Therefore, whatever is Ahamartha, which is Atma, which is Dharmi Bhuta Jnanam, that alone is swayam prakasha, not the samvit or jnanam, which is only Dharma Bhuta Jnanam for them. Okay? Means this kind of, this in fact we have already negated this, but again he is taking this. So, tad ayuktam, this is not proper. Why? Adyasya jnatari ati vyaptihi jnatuhu atmanaha swarupa bhutaiva samviditi. So there is no ati vyapti into jnata etc. because the very nature of the knower is only jnanam for us. So you cannot say, so jnanam and samvid and atma and jnata, all of them point to the same thing for us. So you cannot say there is an ati vyapti into the jnata. So that's what he is explaining here. Yeditu samvid anyaha eva jnata iti matam tarhi saha anatma युष्मदर्थः एव इति ज्ञानकर्मतया एव तस्य व्यवहार अनुगुणत्वम्. So if you say something samvidah anyaha eva jnata, let us say, if you say this knower is other than jnanam, then what will happen? It will become anatma. Okay, this samvid will become anatma and it will become yushmadartha. It will become some as this, correct? It is not ahamartha. Anything which is not asmadartha will all become yushmadartha. And it will become jnana karma also. The jnata itself will become jnana karma. Otherwise, if we take that way also we can take jnana karmataya eva tasya vyavahara anugunatvam. It will become vyavahara anuguna only by being a jnana karma. Okay, that will be a problem. It will become the object of knowledge then, being ushmadartha. The jnata itself being other than jnanam. That way also we can take this. The jnata will become anatma and it will become yushmadartha and it will become, and it is having vyavahara anugunatvam according to your definition only because it will now become the object of knowledge. That itself is a contradiction then. That is a problem. Or the other ways, if you say dvitiyasya cha na asiddhatvam. Otherwise, if you say samvidaha anyaha jnata is not there. Okay. Samvida jnata are same. Then what? Dharma bhuta jnana vadinaha tava mate atmanaha swarupa bhuta jnana adhinam atma dharma bhuta jnanam iti astu mama mate tu atma swarupa bhuta jnanam eva samviditi kritva katam tasya jnanantara adhinatvam. So for us there is no problem. Okay, this samvida jnata are not anya, they are ananya. Therefore there is no asiddha for us. For you only there is a dharma bhuta jnana which depends on the dharmi bhuta jnanam, which is atma, correct? So they talk about a swarupa bhuta jnana also, which is there in the atma. But because of that, atma is only a jnata still. But there is also a dharma bhuta jnanam, which is what they are talking as samvid or jnanam, etc. That difference is not there for us. For us, jnata and jnanam are all one and the same. So mama matetu atma swarupa bhutam eva jnanam, and it is jnatuhu swarupaha. Jnanam is the swarupa of the knower or atma. That alone is atma for us self. Therefore, there is no jnanantara adhinatvam and all that. There is no jnanantara itself. Okay, then where's the question of having dependency? Therefore, tasmat swaprakasha samvideva ahamartaha pratyagatma. So from all these things, what we conclude, samvid is swaprakasha. That alone is ahamartha also. That is the inner self, innermost self, pratyagatma. All these words point to the same thing, same entity. There is no problem. Further, what? Yeditu jnanavan eva atma na jnata iti agraha tarhi ज्ञान ज्ञातृ संबंधस्य ज्ञानांतर वेद्यत्वात् ज्ञान ज्ञातारौ अपि ज्ञानांतर वेद्य एव इति जडौ एव स्याताम्. Okay, now if you still hold on, okay, agraha means what in Tamil we say pidivada. You still hold on to the view that what jnanavan eva atma na jnata. Okay, atma is jnanavan. Okay, it is having jnana as a dharma like this. You are holding on to that. Iti agraha is there, and jnana is not jnata. Okay, this is what you are saying. If you say like this, then jnata and jnanam has to have a sambandha. Jnana jnatru sambandhasya. So this jnana and jnata should have a connection. Then who knows this connection? He is asking. Jnanantara vedyatva. So this sambandha has to be known by some jnana. Then only you can say it is there. Jnana and jnata, they are connected. Now, how do you know their connection? Which is what jnana knows that. If you say this connection is known by another jnana, then the connection is known along with the jnana and jnata, correct? Without knowing the jnana and the knower and the knowledge, their connection cannot be established. That means by saying that their connection is known by another jnanam, this original jnanam and knower, the knowledge and knower will also become known. Okay, and because they become known, they will become jada. That is what he is pointing out. So, jnanantara vedyatvat jnana jnatarau api. Because sambandha becomes jnanantara vedya means jnana and jnata also will become jnanantara vedya. They are known by another jnanam. Then they will become jada only. Okay, jadau. They both will become jada. Jadau eva syatam. Why? Because vedyatvam hi jadatvam. We say that what is jadatva? Being known only is jada. Correct? The quality of being known means you are insentient. Now, once we say this, what he is saying, nacha swasambandhaha svenaiva vedyate iti vachyam. So he is saying swasambandhaha svenaiva vedyate. So one's own sambandha is known by oneself only. Another jnana is not required for that. Like that also you can't say. Na vachyam. Why? Kim jnana jnatra sambandhaha jnanena vedyate yadva jnatra. If you say one sambandha is known by oneself, here there are two entities are there. Jnana is there, jnata is there. Who is knowing the sambandha, one's own sambandha? That you say no. Kim jnana jnatra sambandha jnanena vedyate yadva jnatra. It is known by jnana or jnata or by sambandha itself. Athava sambandhena, because three things are there actually. Now what? Na prathama dvitiya. The first and two cannot know their own sambandha because sambandhasya sambandhi dharmatvat swasya swadharma grahana ayogacha. See, the sambandha is the dharma or the quality of the sambandhi, one who is connected. Connection is the quality of the connected entity, but one cannot know one's own dharma. The eyes cannot know its own dharma, correct? Eyes cannot know whether it is black or white. That's why you have to stand in front of a mirror, etc. If you say that eyes can know its own dharma, then it will become karma kartri. Karma itself will become karta also, correct? Subject, object, subject and object will become one and the same thing, and that will become a problem. So that is pratamaha is not possible. Then na tritiyaha vyaghata. The third also is not possible because sambandha cannot know itself. So nacha swadharmopi swagrahyaha bhavati eva आत्मधर्माणां नित्यत्वादीनां आत्मना गृह्यमानत्वादिति वाच्यम आत्मनः निर्धर्मकत्वात्. But even if we say like this, they can come back and say swadharma can be known by oneself. One's own dharma can be known by oneself, like even Atma knows its own dharma like Nitya, etc. Nityatvam, Satyatvam, Jnanatvam and all is Atma's dharma for them, and Atma knows all those dharmas. Means that also we don't accept. Why? Atmanaha nirdharmakatva. Atma is not having any dharma. Then how can there be swadharma? Atmanaha having nirdharmakatvam. So like this is continuing this argument. We'll see this later. Okay. Continuation of this argument. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम।